Welcome, everyone, to this Click, Create, Curator Spotlight. This month, we have Portals by Funghibull. What was the inspiration behind the theme?
So the inspiration for this theme, Portals, has kind of been a culmination of me reflecting on what art is to me personally. I come from zero art background. It's been very much a process of discovery, of reflection, figuring out, what does this all mean to me as a human being? And I noticed that the art that I was really connecting with was bringing me somewhere. It was these worlds that these artists were creating that I was drawn to, or by their strong invitation to view life, concepts, philosophies differently. And I started to develop just a bit of a personal understanding of art as both a vehicle and a conduit to new worlds, experiences, and ways of thinking, which colloquially kind of thought of art as portals. And that led to me choosing it for this drop with Click Create.
How does the theme inform people's experience of the art?
I hope that people who see this small body of work together are reminded to experience, to let themselves be taken away by the art, to, be nudged in the direction of, what isn't being shown? Why am I having this response? Where is this taking me? What is this art doing to me when I observe it? I feel like so often we view art and media in general as a bit of a disposable asset. We see it briefly on the timeline. We show a heart or a retweet. I really hope that when people see this work and this little series, that they're reminded to go with it, to let themselves be taken on a journey of some kind, whether that's a journey of introspection or imagining the world as these artists have created it.
How does the art speak to the cultural moment we are living in?
I see art as the greatest form of communication, of distilling, cultural phenomenon, as well as just being a conduit for creativity, which I think in a world where tech and automation are so prevalent, or we're constantly trying to get faster and be more productive, I feel like art reminds us to sit still and think and feel. And it's this means of universal communication, as well as, serving as a vehicle for travel, either inward or outward. That's where I see art really fitting into society. And I feel like, it's only sort of recently that society has been recognizing its value there, which is really encouraging.
How did you choose the artists involved with this collection?
It was really tough. There's a lot of artists that I've grown to deeply admire, have great relationships with, and just really recognize for being these world builders, for being these perspective givers and these conduits in and of themselves, as well as their art. That was roughly the criteria for picking, whose art constantly takes me somewhere, either a deep internal conversation that I can't seem to get away from after I've seen the piece, a spark of creativity, a new way of looking either on my past or internally, or just a new way of imagining life or seeing a world. And so that's I'd say the first filter I used. And then who do I have a connection with? Who do I feel somewhat comfortable asking to be a part of my first ever curated drop? And just kind of went from there, which was definitely fun. It was a little nerve-wracking, but really enjoyed it. For all of the artists, I wanted to make sure there was a very big diversity of mediums, first and foremost. I wanted to make sure that the kind of portals we were opening and inviting people into brought people to worlds of all types or discoveries of all varieties.
How does Plant Daddy connect with the natural world?
I had a bit of a long-form connection with Sam. And what I love about her work is it's wildly playful. It's so fun. It brings such a great deal of brightness, of levity. Her combination of natural elements and animals brings a lot of lightness whenever I see it. Sam is also just so passionate about the details within her work. If you ever zoom in and truly, look and explore in each piece that she creates, there is no pixel untouched or unconsidered. I love the way in which she kind of uses these really advanced techniques to directly connect with the most natural elements of the world, while also really combining them in kind of a mesh of internet culture. In terms of where her work takes me is a place of remembrance of the childhood self, and as well, the immensely complicated and rigorous endeavor that is being an artist, that is taking care of each of those pixels, that is, bringing ideas to life to such fine detail and with such great intent.
How are materials used in Hayden's art to create portals?
So Hayden is someone that I've grown a lot of admiration for. He creates these very calming scenes that play with really interesting materials. Like imagining a dress made of glass or water. Imagining, a tennis court where the blue paint is water itself. I feel like he is another person who is constantly creating worlds and imagining in worlds. He has this very clear idea of where it is that he's creating, and his work is so inviting. It's hard not to look at a Hayden clay piece and think, I want to be there. I want to go there. And so I think it's the strength of the invitation that his work creates, as well as, of course, like the beauty and the aesthetic made me want to reach out. And I think people are going to really love what he's created for the Click Create community.
How does Jisoo's art pull the viewer into her world?
Jisoo is someone that I've seen and appreciate, who creates these incredible, colorful worlds, works across mediums, but is most notably known, I would say, for her incredible illustrations, 2D illustrations. Every time I see her work, I am completely stopped in my tracks. I just can't help but be absorbed by the level of detail, the playfulness, the dark themes, and often find myself sort of walking away and wanting to visit more of her work. Her work always brings me somewhere, and I don't see enough of it selfishly, and would love to see more pieces of hers minted and out there.
How is Emotional's art perfect for the theme portals?
Emotional, sometimes referred to as Null, creator of the Fediverse, started in art with physical pieces, with paintings, really fun but powerful abstract work, and eventually discovered 3D sculpting in VR. Got deeply invested in the technology in this space and the idea of virtual experiences, of virtual identity, and an empowered world building. So I couldn't think of an artist more suited to be a part of a collection themed under portals than Null. He literally is creating a universe that he calls the Fediverse, and each of his pieces fits within that. He is often plays in very light and fun themes, while also crafting them with pretty advanced techniques and a lot of thought and intention, where, many of his pieces, they're not just videos or images. They contain the metaverse-ready assets to go experience life as a fun and vibrant couch in the metaverse. And you can load them up with your VR app after minting an edition to use that either as a sculpture to display in something like OnCyber or HyperFi, or just as a character you can walk around in. So I love that Null's work both creates a world and then actively invites you to be in it.